AITA for telling off my future sister-in-law when she didn't want to invite my younger brother to her wedding. I 23F have an older brother, Drew, 26M, who is getting married at the end of this summer. To say it lightly, me and his fiancée, Lacey, 25F, do not get along. She's very stuck up and has made some snide comments to me and my younger brother, Max, 16M. For context, Max has always been the black sheep of the family. He is very academically and artistically talented, but my father and mother are disappointed in his lack of sports. Cliché, I know, not to mention they favored my sister, his twin, Caroline, 16F. Max and Lacey were civil for a while, but I guess I haven't seen them speak in a long time for reasons unknown to me. The problem occurred last night when I was asking Lacey about the wedding and how the planning was going. She started telling me her seating chart and showing me what she had planned. I was looking at the chart and Max's name was nowhere to be found. I don't love Lacey, but I'm not going to assume the worst of her, so I asked her where Max's name was and she got suddenly quiet. "He's not going to be there," she said. "You mean not in the wedding party?" I ask. "No, he's not invited," she said it so calmly I'd assume she was talking about the weather. I kept asking her why she wouldn't invite him but invited Caroline. She just said that she feels Caroline is more mature because she is a girl. "This wedding isn't going to be child-free," Lacey has stated this multiple times. "I have many little cousins who are being invited, since family is very important to us. Not inviting Max makes no sense. He is a very nice kid, and very mature for his age. Much more mature than Caroline. He never causes problems, but like I mentioned earlier, there are some big issues with him not following Drew's and my dad's footsteps in football. I know Lacey is very desperate for my family's approval, so maybe outlining Max is the way to do it for her, but I have a feeling there's something more to it." After what Lacey said about not inviting Max, I stood up and started yelling at her for not including Max. She kind of just ignored what I was saying, but when I escalated, Drew came over. As he was walking over, she started to cry and make a bigger scene about it. Drew knelt down to comfort her and gave me dirty looks. Once he was inside, he turned to me and started yelling at me about being rude to her, when she is under so much stress from planning the wedding and trying to get my family to like her. I understand that my family is closed-knit and kind of not welcoming to newcomers, but that doesn't excuse her behavior, and I told my brother so. I asked him why he didn't want to invite Max, and he just told me to stay out of it. Classic move of him. He called me an asshole for treating Lacey like that, then walked out. We haven't spoken since last night. I understand that yelling at her was a bit much and I could have handled the situation differently, but I am sick of seeing Max being left out and treated badly. I don't want to fight with Drew, but I'm standing my ground for Max's sake. Max also doesn't know about any of this yet, and I'm hesitant to tell him. My parents have stayed out of it so far, but Drew is still set on being mad at me. Comment 1. NTA, but you're yelling at the wrong person. The person you should be having a go at is your older brother. He should be the one making sure Max is included. Frankly, if my family behaved like this, I would be standing in solidarity with Max, declining my wedding invitation and taking him on a nice day out the day of the wedding. Comment 2. NTA. Tell your parents and make them understand how it's unfair that Max is the only one not invited to the wedding in your whole family. Honestly, it doesn't even make sense considering that this isn't a child-free wedding, so the whole argument of Caroline being more mature than Max doesn't even hold up. Confront her with your parents and Max there. She doesn't need to include Max in the wedding party, but just not inviting him is a really low move. Make your brother understand this too. Hope you'll resolve this soon and Max also attends the wedding. Comment 3. ESH, your intention is honorable, but what's bothersome about this is the blame and anger at her. This is your brother's wedding too, his little brother too. Ultimately, he's the problem too. He's who you should be angry at. Stop overlooking his responsibility in all of this. AITA for telling my BF he can't use my vehicle anymore to take his kids to school every day. I, 30F, am starting to get frustrated with my 36M boyfriend for not taking accountability for his own problems. He had a vehicle that he used to drive but beat it into the ground and never gave the vehicle any TLC until we started dating 4 years ago. He drove it with an expired inspection sticker, like 3 years expired, until he got pulled over and an officer told him next time he would get a ticket. The car sat for an entire year until we moved to a new apartment, and the car continued to sit for another year until my landlord confronted me that it needed to be removed from the property due to no use and it was difficult to start and move during the winter snowfall for plowing. My BF got upset because it's his vehicle, he can have it there. Where doesn't say in the lease he can't have it here? After a couple months my landlord brought it up again that he wouldn't resign a lease with us if the car wasn't removed. So in January, after my last warning from the landlord, I went and bought a new battery for the car, installed it myself, got a storage unit, had it towed to said storage unit and told my BF he needed to figure out what to do with it. 7 months later the car still sits in the storage unit, which I'm paying $200 a month for. I recently brought up to him and stated I don't want this to be a fight, I'm just airing my truths. I stated that I found it really difficult for me to continue to store the vehicle because he's not taking an accountability for it. He's just forgotten about it until I've consistently bring it up to him and ask what he's doing with it. I told him I found it really unattractive that there was no initiative and that it was really starting to piss me off. I'm the only one that's helped him with it and he's not given a shit. I told him at this point he owes me all the money back, but deep down I know that probably won't happen. He sat and listened to what I had to say but didn't really input any sort of game plan to get rid of it. This was a month ago. Today I sit here, getting the bank notification that $200 was taken out for the storage unit again, and he's given zero effort to figuring it out. He uses my car for whatever he needs, including when his kids were in school he would drive my car every day to bring them. I really don't have a problem with that, but I'm starting to feel used. He puts gas in the car but treats it like it's an hour's vehicle. I paid my car off, which was a huge accomplishment for me, but there's a small anxious part of me that worries that if he's driving it and gets in an accident, I'm sole. I haven't had the conversation with him yet. I know it's going to be a hard one, but it's the only way I feel like I can stand my ground at this point. I know his kids may be a little disappointed that they can't see their dad every day, but I feel that I can't continue to keep allowing him to use it like he wants. And I also think I'm just going to have his car towed to his mother's house so they can deal with it. All I've done is put effort into this car. I put in spark plugs, new alternator and the new battery to get it to start. All by myself and YouTube. The car isn't inspectable and needs a lot of work that I know he won't put into it. And I barely got a thank you, comment 1. Let him know that this is the last month you will be paying for storage, then go in and let the storage place know that you are ending the contract at the end of the month. Make sure he knows that, and let him figure it out. Then, don't resign your lease, move out, and leave this loser behind. He doesn't want a partner, he wants a mommy. Let him figure out how to be a grown-up. You don't need to waste your time and money on this man. NTA. But you will be if you continue to let him use you. Comment 2. He's using you, and don't tell me you love him and he's sweet. Tell him you're giving up the storage unit and leaving his car abandoned somewhere. And get your car keys back and hide both sets. It's clear he's using you. Lose him. Comment 3. You are taking on his problems as though they were yours. You replaced the battery and rented a storage space for his car that he refused to take responsibility for. Now you are complaining that he still hasn't done anything with the car, and you are paying $200 a month. Stop taking care of things for him. AITA for asking for a gift receipt for a baby shower gift. My 28F husband, 30M, and I are having our first son later this year, and he is due on Labor Day. I had my baby shower last weekend and it was a great event, but there was one interaction that I may be the asshole for. My husband showed up for the gift portion. When opening gifts, one gift was a baby care package and a onesie to the rival college my husband and I went to. It was given to us by a friend who went to said rival college. My husband has a pretty deep hatred of the rival school. I follow along with that since fall Saturdays at football games is our thing. When we opened this gift, my husband audibly said, "Oh." I could see the what the fuck look on his face. I said, "I hope a gift receipt came with this. I thought it was a gag gift." My friend says, "Oh, no gift receipt." I was like, "Oh well, son's name is never going to wear this." Then moved on to the next gift. Little awkward, but whatever. After the party, my husband threw the onesie in the trash. A few days ago someone asked what happened with the onesie and I told them. Well, that made it around to a few people and I get a text from the friend saying that I'm a huge a-hole. I should have just given it back to her. I was like, that's what the gift receipt comment was for, and told her my husband would never allow our son to be dressed like that. I never thought it was supposed to be a legitimate gift, but apparently it was. Comment 1. YTA. You could have donated that to Goodwill or a shelter instead of throwing it in the trash. My aunt, technically my cousin but age gap, so she was aunt, worked for a battered woman's shelter, and I can promise you that almost any woman, or man, fleeing an abusive relationship with a baby would be eternally grateful for a brand new onesie, no matter what it said on it. Comment 2. YTA. Asking about a gift receipt in front of everyone as you're opening the gift? That's just tacky. And I know little children better able to hide their disappointment in a gift than your husband. Plus, you threw it out instead of donating, which is wasteful. Sounds like your friend was making a playful ribbing joke and you guys took it to a weird, awkward place. Comment 3. YTA. Well, your husband isn't rude. It was a gift. By this point in your life, you should not know to be gracious. You do not deserve a gift simply because you chose to have a baby. It was given to you out of kindness. One more thing, I hope your son goes to the rival school. AITA for not inviting my friend to hang out, then not showing up when she invited herself. And maybe letting her think she was invited? I, 26M, am part of a WhatsApp group with 5 close friends. 2 of them are girls. Let's call them Rose and Nina. We all hang out in different combos sometimes. So, a few nights ago I was working a hotel shift, my hours are always chaotic, and during a slow moment I texted the group chat. I asked Rose if she would like to go photography hunting later that night around 9, if I'm already off work by then. This is something Rose and I do together pretty often. Just drive around the city at night taking photos. Rose said sure and told me to just drop her a message when I got off. All good so far. But then Nina asked if she could come too. Here's the part I'm conflicted about. I didn't respond. Because honestly, I didn't really want her to come. But if I told her no, she would just stir up drama, accusing us of excluding her, etc. Let me be clear, I don't dislike Nina. She's my friend. But she tends to get really rigid about plans and timing. She gets anxious or upset if things don't go exactly as expected. And this was just supposed to be a chill, last-minute outing. If I even got off work on time. Rose replied to Nina and said sure, if you'd like. Probably just to be polite. So basically the plane was still up in the air. At around 8:30 p.m., I realized work wasn't slowing down. So I texted the group telling Rose I was sorry and something came up and looked like I wouldn't be getting off work anytime soon. Rose responded that it was totally fine and she understood. Nina didn't reply. The next morning, she went off in the group chat, saying that she had gone to the place we usually meet, waited alone, and felt completely disrespected. She accused us of not valuing her time and being passive-aggressive by inviting her and then not showing up. I never invited her. I didn't respond. I wasn't even sure I'd be free. I messaged to say I couldn't make it. The thing is, Nina can be really difficult at times. Like whenever any of us make plans without her, she would get upset. Or when we text one another privately, she says she feels excluded. But whenever we make plans without her on the group chat, she almost always will invite herself. This isn't the first time something like this has happened. Nina has a tendency to insert herself into casual plans and then get really upset when things change. I thought I was doing the mature thing by staying silent instead of outright saying no, I'd rather you didn't come. Some mutual friends are saying I should have been clearer and that not inviting someone isn't the same as saying they shouldn't come. Others say Nina was out of line for assuming she was invited in the first place. Comment 1. YTA. You could have avoided this drama by texting Rose directly. She would only know you were texting one another privately if you tell her or talk in front of her about all the things you did without her. Just don't do that. Why do people make their own lives so difficult? Comment 2. YTA. Don't use a group chat if the entire group isn't invited, just message your friend you want to have plans with. Of course Nina will think it's open invite if she's in the group and received a text about it. For clarification, did you say in the group text that you'd have to cancel, or was it a separate text to Rose? If it was a separate text and Nina didn't know about the cancellation, then you would be double the asshole. Comment 3. ESH. Why would you use a group chat to arrange a one-on-one? Why not just text Rose, if you didn't want others to come? Especially when you know Nina likes to come too. It's childish to invite Rose in group chat. You're at fault for that. Nina shouldn't have gotten angry since the meeting was cancelled in the group chat too.